and with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome to our sanctuary. My name is Andrew Kaplan-Mandel. I am one of the rabbinic interns here, and I'm the leader of the Neighborhood, our online community for Friends of Central Synagogue. And I am so honored to be joining the incredible full clergy team here at Central Synagogue. We have Rabbi Maurice Salth, Rabbi Dan Ross, Rabbi Ari Lorge, who will be our darshan this evening, teacher of Torah, and our senior rabbi, Angela Bookdahl, and our senior cantor, Dan Mutlu. The tricky thing about Hanukkah happening before the winter solstice is that the days are still getting shorter, even though our candles have been complete. And so it reminds me of one of the important lessons of the festival, which is that we've got to be the light. And I just want to appreciate everyone here for being here, both in this room and also online, to serve that purpose for one another. And we'll give that Laura wave to our live streamers and our neighbors. Welcome. I also want to give a special thank you to our lay leaders, including our board president, Dr. Shani Silverberg, our trustee, David Tanner, and his wife, Peggy, who are on our bima this evening. We also have some special guests, ninth graders from Temple Beth Shalom of Miami, Florida, under the leadership of Rabbi Joanne Loiben. Welcome to you. I also want to give a big thank you to our musicians, led by Dave Strickland. It is such a gift to be with you all this Shabbat and every Shabbat, and to our choir as well. I want to give a thank you to all of the folks who make this a safe and welcoming place. Our maintenance team, our shamashim, our welcome, all of the folks who are welcoming us today, and then also to our AV team, which makes it possible for us to connect with our folks online, both on Facebook and on JBS and on our website, where you can find our order of service. So we are now ready to grow the glow in this room and in your homes by lighting candles. So in honor of Alex Levy's bar mitzvah this weekend, I would like to invite Brittany Levy and Ellen Kravitz up to the bima to kindle our Shabbat lights.
Asher
As we begin the Psalms of Kabbalah Shabbat, let's envision the glow of these candles expanding beyond the room where we are in or in your room at home to the whole city or town. And we continue with Mizmor Shir, which can be found on your order of service.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך
Adonai, also on our order of service.
שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו.
ספרו בגויים כבודו,
בכל העמים נפלאותיו,
כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד,
נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו,
מסרו מיום ליום
ישועתו.
כי כל אלוהי העמים מלילים,
ואדוני שמיים עשה,
הוד והדר לפניו,
עוז ותפארת במקדשו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו.
ישמחו השמיים
ותגל הארץ,
ירם הים ומלואו,
יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל
We have reached Lecha Dodi, so we are ready to expand that vision of illumination, of peace, and of dignity to the entire world. Particularly important on this day, our International Day of Human Rights. We will sing verses 1, 2, 5, and then rise in body or spirit for verse 9 as we greet Shabbat at the door. We are on page 20.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד
בדיבור אחד
השמיענו אל המיוחד
אדוני אחד
אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם לסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה
התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני
עלייך נגלה לך דודי לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי בשלום עטרת מעלה גם בשמחה אומץ עולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה
Page 146, we remain standing for Baruch Hu.
Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai המבורך לעולם ועד. יאי לי לי
Please be seated and join with me on page 147 in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, misader et hakochavim, b'mishmeroteim barakia kirtzono, bore yom v'layla, goler or mitnei chor. V'choshech mitnei or.
ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה
In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world.
In each age we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment we stand face to face with truth.
In each age we add our wisdom to that which has come before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age the children of Torah become its builders
and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם למענך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 152, מי כמוך.
מי כמוך, באלים אדוני, מי כמוך, נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. מי כמוך, באלים אדוני, מי כמוך, נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. Who is like you? Who is like מלכותך ראו בניך עוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זה אליהו הנביא אמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד who is like you like you, Adonai.
We pray for God's protection with Hashkivenu. It's on our order of service.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu malkeinu Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu malkeinu Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, from sorrow and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu malkeinu
Tefillah is on page 155. Please rise.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי אגיד תהילתך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיים מתים, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים באמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Our prayers continue now silently through page 167, and to these words of the Amidah, we can add our own prayers within our own hearts and minds. You may do so seated or standing, as is your preference.
We're on page 53. Yana emsacha mekomcha nale benela ve'ana lo emsacha כבודך מלא עולם. ינע אמצעך מקומך נעלה ונעלם, בענה לא אמצעך כבודך מלא עולם.
דרשתי קרבתך בכל ליבי קראתיך, וצאתי לקראתך, וקראתי מצאתי.
מקומך נעלה ונעלם, בענה לא אמצעך כבודך מלא עולם.
This week's Torah portion, Vayigash, Jacob's sons return to him from Egypt, and they find their father weak and ill. And then they recount to him all of the amazing things that have happened on their journey to Egypt, including their discovery that their long-lost brother Joseph and Jacob's long-lost son is still alive. And upon hearing this good news, the text tells us, Vatechi Ruach Yaakov, and Jacob's spirit revived. And then Jacob says, my son Joseph is still alive. I must go see him before I die. Such is the power that hope can have for those who are struggling with pain and illness. Hope to just see a loved one's face. Hope that revives our spirits. This evening, we hope that our prayers can bring hope to these loved ones in our community who are in need of healing. Kathy Barron, Hanalea Batsara, Eileen Berger, Simcha Ben Sara, Donald Brief, Susan Brown, Grayson Schuyler Bloom, Jerry Calderon, Lou Chen, Monica Corton, Frank Elbling, Corey Flom, Gary Friedenberg, Jerry Friedman, Susan Friedman, Ann Gresser, Howard Hochberg, the James family, Karen Capel-Kaunitz, Melissa Kaufman, Samuel Kirsch, Erwin Merkatz, Cordelia Miras, Tom Olsted, Kurt Pliskin, Marty Reingold, Sandy Schupper, Candace Smilo, Bill Smith, Eli Strauss, Ethan Sebastian Wagner, and Richard Zorn. We offer them these prayers for healing.
Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in
We know that there are many causes for celebration in this room, in this sanctuary this evening, and so if I offer one of those that applies to you, I invite you to rise and remain standing. So if you are becoming bar mitzvah tomorrow or are celebrating with our bar mitzvah, Alex and your loved ones, please rise. Mazel tov. If you are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary or some other annual milestone, please rise. If you welcomed someone new into your family this week via wedding, birth, adoption, or some other way, please rise. Mazel tov. So today is National Dewey Decimal System Day. So if you have fond memories of strolling through the nonfiction section of the library, please rise. Awesome. If you have enjoyed a seasonably festive beverage like maybe a peppermint mocha or a hot cider, please rise.
Pumpkin spice, Rabbi.
Pumpkin spice? Okay, yeah, I could go for it. If you have managed to get the wax off your Chanukiot, your menorahs this week, please rise. That's a task, that's always a chore. That got almost everyone, and I know this one's going to get everyone up. If you're just happy to celebrate Shabbat with us, we invite you to rise for our blessing of joy.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
We're going to remain standing. We're going to add to our joy tonight. We have a young couple who will soon be married, and we're going to ask both of them, Melanie and Jake, to come up to the bima so that they can receive a blessing in front of the ark. Melanie and Jake, we are just so overjoyed tonight to welcome you to this bima with your family, with your Central family here in the sanctuary, and also across the world celebrating with you on live stream and JBS. This is an amazing day. And not only because the two of you come before your community tonight to receive this special blessing, but also because of an incredible sacred connection that you have to this place and this community. Now, for everybody gathered here tonight, I'm going to explain why this is so special. Melanie's parents were married at Central. Your aunt and uncle were married at Central. Her grandparents and great-grandparents were probably married here. And when we go back even further in her family tree, we find that the source of her incredible tradition here at Central Synagogue is that Melanie's great-great-great-grandfather is none other than Rabbi Dr. Alexander Kohut, senior rabbi of this congregation 136 years ago. How incredible is that? Just a couple of years ago, when we celebrated our 180th anniversary at Carnegie Hall, Rabbi Kohut, your great-great-great-grandfather, took center stage as we recounted, with a bit of humor, his contributions to this community and to the Jewish world. By the way, you might have remembered the You Gotta Have Faith Freedom boxing match, and my secret weapon to beat Rabbi Buchdahl, the only way, is that I played Rabbi Kohut. So here we are. And while things have changed quite a bit since Rabbi Kohut led this congregation in the 1880s and 1890s, love is a timeless theme. And the two of you come together tonight honoring traditions that are rooted in family and community, but also in the unique traditions that the two of you are making right now. Jake, I know that you love how Melanie gives all of herself, whether it's listening to your concerns or just throwing herself 100% into everything she does. Her confidence, her smile, her sense of family will sustain the two of you for years and years to come. And Melanie, I know how you love Jake's intelligence, his curiosity, his compassion and loyalty, and that it's his heart and care for others that will sustain the two of you as well. And so here we are. We bless you tonight, and we ask that you continue to love each other in these ways, that you may grow and that love may develop in many, many more beautiful ways. So it is my privilege tonight to bestow upon you our most ancient blessing. And I see you've come ready, Jake, with a tallis. So why don't you put it over the two of you, and I'll help you out. And we're going to bless you with this blessing. So Melanie, you could just grab that and put it over your shoulder. Perfect.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May God shine God's face to you both and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom.
May God lift up God's face to you both and grant you a lifetime filled with blessing and peace. Amen.
Amen.
Mazel tov.
Hallelujah, 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 el bekocho, hallelujah, bekia uzo, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
like I have to say, add one thing to your incredibly beautiful Ufruf, which is that you should know, Melanie, that your great-great-great-grandmother, Rebecca Kohut, also got her own chapter in the Carnegie Hall show because she was such an amazing figure. And since you are getting married, you should know that it's obviously a partnership. She married Rabbi Kohut when he already had been widowed and had 5 children, and she raised his 5 children. And she was the native English speaker, and he came from Europe and didn't speak fluent English, so we were also pretty sure that she did a lot of work on his sermons. So she was a force. I just want you to know that you are also in that line as well, that she deserves mention tonight as well.
When you read or look or even listen, the overwhelming majority of discussions on this week's Torah portion center around one climactic moment: the reconciliation between Joseph and his brothers. Everything has been building to this juncture, and it's a scene full of tears, dramatic revelations, and the kind of redemptive forgiveness that makes us all feel warm and fuzzy inside. But our attention to this culminating moment distracts us from a far more important transformation and a far more applicable lesson. So tonight, let's explore a less lauded but no less vital story of reconciliation that lies underneath the simple text, hiding in plain sight. First, we have to remember how this tale began. Jacob, the father of these 12 boys, favored Joseph and made no attempt to conceal or curb his preferential treatment. It was such extreme behavior, including a very garish jacket, that ultimately led the brothers to decide to murder Joseph. After some intervention, they change course and decide to sell him into slavery instead. Then they return home and explain Joseph's disappearance by claiming that wild beasts tore him apart and killed him. It just screams musical comedy, I know. Then we have chapters that follow Joseph as he makes his way from slavery to second in command in Egypt. When we next meet Jacob and his sons, decades have passed. Yet seemingly nothing has changed. Believing that Joseph is dead, Jacob chose a new favorite son, this time Benjamin. All the other brothers once again know that they are less loved. The family is back in the same situation that led the brothers to do violence to Joseph. They stand poised to plunge once more into the same destructive pattern. And yet somehow this time they avoid it. The text doesn't explain how it happened. It goes unremarked. The text doesn't even telegraph that we should be stunned. But as close readers, we notice, and we are puzzled. Why don't the brothers feel hatred towards Benjamin? Why are they no longer shaken by Jacob's disregard? These brothers have changed. How did it happen? Still, the text is silent. And in that silence, we wonder, what must it have been like for the brothers to see their father pick a new favorite son? To realize that selling their brother into slavery was all for naught. Their pain, their neglect, the lack of parental love was still waiting for them when they returned home. What must it have been like for them to realize that Joseph wasn't the problem at all, that the true source of their resentment and anger was their flawed father. And now, seeing once again that he's
ready to poison the peace of their family. They can either walk down the same perilous path that he paves with his favoritism, or they can choose to go another way. This is the great unheralded transformation at the heart of the Joseph story. In the past, the brothers believed that they could change their father. They were convinced that there was something they could do to make Jacob love them. Now they confront a terrible yet liberating realization. Nothing they will ever do will change Jacob or his treatment of them. And so all they can do is change their reaction to his behavior. This reconciliation of who they wished their father was with who he truly is seethes beneath the surface of the text. It is what makes for the coming dramatic reconciliation between the brothers. The realistic assessment of Jacob's deficiency as a parent enables the brothers to continue to love Benjamin. It frees the brothers to find the love they need and they deserve in other spaces. It allows them to feel regret and shame for what they did to Joseph. The brothers have come to accept a vital lesson, that our behavior rarely transforms someone else. This moral is important because it flies in the face of so many of the stories we love to tell about one character's ability to redeem another. Eliza and Professor Higgins, the kind priest in Jean Valjean, Beauty and the Beast. But despite such stories, in the real world, it is a rare thing. People can change one another, but it is the stuff of hard work sustained over a long period of time. And more importantly, it requires all parties to want to change. Much more often, when confronting someone's challenging behavior, the best thing we can do is adjust our own relationship to it. We cannot change them. We cannot control them. But we can control our expectations of them. We can control our reactions to them. And we can control what degree we wish to engage them in relationship. And those are powerful tools that can alter our reality for the better. That kind of transformation does not make for dramatic narrative, but it can make for dramatic good in our lives. That kind of transformation may not be heartwarming, but it can be life-giving. And sometimes that's more important. This week, we find the greatest lesson not in the epic, but in the everyday reconciliations.
Thank you for those powerful words of Torah, Rabbi Lorge. Today happens to be International Human Rights Day, in addition to apparently Dewey Decimal Day, which I did not know. On our bima tonight, we have, not on our bima, in our congregation in the front row, we have a living legend in the realm of human rights. Rabbi Israel Dresner was one of the first two rabbis arrested in the civil rights movement during the first interfaith clergy freedom ride in 1961. He is a part of the Tallahassee 10 Freedom Riders, and here's a picture of him when he was a young man. He is the top left with the glasses. This group was arrested, and Rabbi Dresner went on to become the most arrested and jailed rabbi in the entire civil rights movement. He served time in jail with the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., who became a close friend of his. Dr. King came and spoke at Rabbi Desner's congregation in Springfield on 2 different occasions, in 1963 and 66. This is a picture of him with Rabbi Dresner at his congregation in Springfield. And during one of Rabbi Dresner's arrests, while he sat in jail, Dr. King sent him this telegram. And I will read just a little bit of it, because I'm sure you can't read it from there. And just listen to the poetry power of his words. All America went to jail with you. Our spiritual limitations are shown by your physical incarceration. Your willingness to suffer, to go to jail without bond or paying of fines, is telling the truth about us. Your heroism is the nonviolent movement's moral witness to a world that has seen too little of the spirit and purpose of the prophets and disciples. Today, it is your valiant act that touches the conscience of Americans of goodwill. Your example is a judgment and an inspiration to each of us. Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., August 5th, 1964. Dr. King asked Rabbi Dresner to deliver the prayer at the foot of the Pettus Bridge on Turnaround Tuesday in the Selma March, and Rabbi Dresner was one of the national coordinators of the March on Washington, for which he was honored by President Obama on the 50th anniversary of that march. After Dr. King's tragic murder, Rabbi Dresner continued the legacy of his fallen friend. And while the populations changed that he fought for, from African Americans to women, to the disabled, to LGBTQ Americans, Rabbi Dresner's passion for human rights and social justice never changed, and nor did it even stop at America's borders. Rabbi Dresner went on and fought for Soviet Jewry. He was a proud Zionist, and as a Zionist, also fought for Palestinian self-determination and statehood. His stances on civil rights, which we now laud today, you should know, back in the 60s was not always so popular. And his views sometimes on Israel, which he was an early dove on, have not always been popular, and Rabbi Dresner has apparently a lot of hate mail to prove it. But he has always striven to live by the words of Deuteronomy, tzedek, tzedek tirdof, justice, justice shall you pursue. Rabbi Dresner, now blessed 91 years young, is also now a part, I'm proud to say, of the Central Synagogue live stream family from New Jersey. And he told his children that coming to Shabbat services at Central Synagogue was on his bucket list. And when we heard that he was going to be coming to services, we could not miss this opportunity to honor a giant of the rabbinate, a prophet among our people. You honor us by your life's work, and we want to return the honor by calling you up and your 2 children, Tamar and Avi, for the Aliyah to the Torah.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Amen. ויאמר עבדך אבי אלינו אתם ידעתם כי שניים ילדה לי אשתי ויצא האחד מתי ואומר אך טרוף טורף ולא ריטיב עד הנה ולקחתם גם את זה מעם פניי וקראו אסון והורדתם את שיבתי ברשאלה ואתה כבואי אל עבדך אבי והנער איננו איתנו ונפשו כשורה בנפשו.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
I want to thank Rabbi Buchdahl, Central Synagogue, all of you here for this great honor. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Don't leave. 1 second. Can I invite the congregation to please rise? And Rabbi Dresner, you should know that we have concluded a book in this scroll, and we say our traditional words. I know we are going to say it both for changing to the next chapter, but you have written your own Torah with your life, and so we are offering these words also for you. If you offer them, we'll repeat it back.
חזק חזק ונתחזק
חזק חזק ונתחזק.
We remain standing as we give honor to Torah.
Thank you. May God bless all of you.
Thank you.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאי לי לי לי
We continue with concluding prayers on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated.
Shemei Rabbah.
Carlos, who sets up our yahrzeit candle for us every week, lost his father, and we wanted to give him the honor of lighting tonight in his honor. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me. Your laugh once lifted me. Your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love. A holy thing, to love what death has touched. In our community, we recall those who have died from our armed services every week serving our country. This week, I'm happy to say there are none to report. We also name those who've died in mass shootings in our country, just naming a few of the far too many. Deshae Berry, 39. Alora Pledger, 3. Breonna Woods, 16. And we name those from our synagogue community who've died in the last 30 days. Gloria Anton, Rochelle Brumond, mother of Stafford and Clifton, John Dichter, brother of Rachel Lewin and Suzanne Cohen, son of Helene, Barbara Drazen, wife of Mel, mother of Robert, Terry, and Ken, John Garr, father of Leah, Rosalie Greer, Adam Miller, father of Amanda Silverman, Mark Leon Rosenthal, husband of Linda, father of Stephen, Marjorie, brother of Nancy, Hannah Wilkenfeld, mother of Craig. And we name those whose yahrzeits occur at this season. Rose Susan Hirschhorn Barrand, Sydney Beer, Ann Beigen, Ruth Hirschhorn Black, Rhoda Brer, Claire Brown, Florence Kane, Myron Clayman, Rose Smith Cohen, Sydney Dell, Joseph Fallick, Irving Fisher, Louis Fishman, Hilda Friedman, Herman Friedman, Lillian Gelman, Ronald Goldberger, Samuel Goodman, Adele Gordon, Mayor Greenberg, Gerald Greenberg, Alan Greenwald, Michael Greenwald, Tracy Groden, Jerome Gross, Howard Holtzman, Herbert Horn, George Hurwitz, Harold Eisen, Lottie Kleinman, Samuel Crum, Claire Levin, Marjorie Messerov, Martin Michaels, Preston Nemi, Ellis Oppenheim Sr., Carol Perez, Harry Polivoy, Martin Popik, Eileen Sugarbread Ricklin, William Rogers, Jean Rosenhaus, Diane Sanger, Selma Schmelkin, Eva Schwartz, Bela Sussman, Murray Silver, Phyllis Sorkin, Benjamin Starr, Ann Steinberg, Arnold Steinberg, Saul Steinberg, Philip Stern, Ruth Stern, Leslie Susser, Arthur Sussman, Claire Taffet, Andre Turdeman, Ruth Vogel, Irving Warsaw, Minnie Wexelblatt, Pearl Weiner, Janet Winston, Florence Zwirling, and those that you might name at this moment in your heart or aloud wherever you are. If you are in Shiva the first 7 days of mourning a loved one, I invite you to please rise, be acknowledged by our congregation. If you are in the first 30 days, Shloshim, for a loved one, we invite you to rise. If you are in the first year of mourning a loved one, I invite you to please rise. And if you're here to observe a yahrzeit this evening, I invite you to rise. May the memory of your loved ones be an abiding blessing. We rise with you as one community of fellowship and comfort, page 294, with the words of Kadisha Tome. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach l'rutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'olmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushvachata v'nechamata ta'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Ve'imero amen. Ve'imeru amen. Ve'imeru amen.
I have to think of the announcements myself. Well, I'm going to start by announcing that we're so happy to see all of you here. We do have services tomorrow with a wonderful bar mitzvah. I will also say that I took a little poetic license. We actually have one more week to actually finish the book of Genesis, so come back next week. You'll get to do Chazak again, which is always good. We always could use more strengthening. Oh, and I just have to name, we don't usually make announcements about programs, but we could not be more honored, speaking of Rabbi Israel Dresner, to be welcoming our own modern prophet of Brian Stevenson, an incredible civil rights leader here in our sanctuary. We already have, I think, 600 people registered for this. We are doing it both live here in our sanctuary as well as live streamed, if that is where you're more comfortable. And so we are grateful and hope that you will join us for that on December 16th at 6:30. Alex, we'd love to invite you to come up to the Bima to help us lead Kiddush and Motzi blessings. And we hope that you will all join with us in sanctifying this beautiful Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila le'mikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava u'ratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Bring that down to Rabbi Dresner. We're going to join in a closing song together on page 321. We hope you'll join with us. Come on down, guys. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra ve'et na'asa b'chefzo chol azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kiflot hakol levado yimlov nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifarav. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.